Good afternoon. Hopefully this little ramble on my part will be somewhat shorter than last week's effort. But there we are. We'll see how it goes. It is on a fairly narrow topic and really shouldn't detain you too long. And it's on the subject of well, let's be upfront about it. On the subject of lying and lies and being told lies. And in fairness, it is going to be, if not a defence of Huw Jenkins, certainly an acknowledgement that Huw Jenkins, whatever his failings or faults may be, has in fact always been straight with the supporters of Newport County. And the stick that he was getting yesterday, well, he's a chairman of a football club, that goes with the territory, so long as it doesn't go beyond what is acceptable. You're getting sacked in the morning is acceptable. I won't say some of the things I've heard said by football supporters and indeed other people, but I think you all know what I mean. But as I say, now, let's have a look firstly at what Huw Jenkins said when he took over the club. His plan may not be working, but his plan was, we're going to recruit young players, we're going to sell them on, I'm going to stabilise the finances, and that's the plan. It may not be working or working as well as he'd hoped, but he's not actually misled you in any way. You gave him the club, you agreed to that, or we agreed to that, and that's it. It's his club, he can do with it what he wants. But let's look at the subject of being told lies, shall we? And let's take it away from the context just for a moment. And this isn't a political point I'm going to make, but it shows how politicians will lie to you. Now, I do have a certain expertise in this matter. Most of my practice, when I practiced at the bar, was in immigration work, and I probably know a lot more about immigration and immigration law than most people, and certainly much of the comment that I've seen on newspapers, television, radio is utterly and completely ill-informed. But let's just look how you've always been lied to about the subject of immigration. And I don't care what your views are on immigration, and I'm not making any point on it myself on the rights and wrongs of the situation, but rather on the lies. You see, you had Richie Sunak. Oh, we're going to stop the boats. And we're going to send all these people to Rwanda. Yeah, but it didn't happen, did it? And then we had Keir Starmer. We're going to smash the gangs, and that's the way to stop immigration. Nope, that didn't happen either. And now we have Kemi Badenoch, who has now said that she is going to return 3,000 people, 150,000 people a year, which works out at about 3,000 people a week. Assuming everybody has Sunday off, 500 people a day. So 500 people a day. Where on earth do you think you are going to get the people to actually physically deport 500 people a day? When these people don't have documentation, where do you intend to send them? Even if you could get them out of the country. You know, what are you going to do? Send them back to France, and when France says, no, we're not going to take them, they're your problem. I really don't see you invading France somehow. So in terms, your last three prime ministers have all lied to you. They know something that they will not tell you, which is you cannot stop immigration. When people are determined to move, they will move, and there is nothing you can do about it. You may think you can, but you can't. People will always find a way. And people who are poor, who have limited life chances, see Europe, see Britain, see America, see Australia, whatever, as being places that give them hope of a better life. And they're not going to stop coming. Now, of course, if you're Australia and you're a huge island in the middle of an ocean, or you're America and you're thousands of miles away from anywhere else, you might be able to stop. But the reality is, for Britain, people are going to keep coming and nothing can be done about it. And any politician who is honest would say, yeah, look, we'll try and we'll make life as uncomfortable within reason as possible. In other words, they will not, people who are illegally here, if we can remove them, we will, that they won't be entitled to whatever benefits, so on and so forth. Absolutely, but they'll work in the black economy. They will have a better life even there than they would in many parts of sub-Saharan Africa, so on and so forth. And many of these people are actually genuine in their search for international protection. And one of the rules under the 51 Convention on Refugees is that you're entitled, if you're a genuine refugee, you're entitled to apply for asylum in and be given asylum in any signatory state to that convention. And that is the be-all and end-all of it. Now, you may say, what's that got to do with Newport County? Well, it's not. It's to do with lies. You see, politicians lie to you, but to get away with it, they have to be believed. So people will believe that Labour will stop the boats by crushing the gangs. People may believe that the Sunak's Conservative Party would have stopped the boats by threatening to send people to Rwanda. Kemi Badenoch or Badenoch may just simply, people may believe her. They're all being untruthful to you. And if you took a step back, you would know they were being untruthful to you. And that's the point about lies. Lies work not when somebody tells the lie, but when somebody believes that lie. And at Newport County, you have been lied to by the previous regime to an extent which was shocking and appalling. And I think most people now accept that. But you all chose to believe it, or many of you chose to believe it. And the difficulty now that arises out of that is you want to blame Huw Jenkins, who's told you the truth. He's never misled you. Now, don't get me wrong. I have serious reservations about Huw Jenkins. I think his plan was destined to fail from the start. And the reason it was destined to fail is simply this. For Newport County to survive, we needed somebody like Graham Coughlin. Because what he could do was make Newport an ugly side who were difficult to beat, who would nick the odd winner and would remain remain a league side. But playing that style of football, you are never going to have players in your team that you're actually going to be able to sell on at a profit. What you want is grizzled old pros who know what they're doing, a cynical way, if you like. And I think that, so I think his plan was a poor one from the very beginning. And he was doing it in a way that wasn't going to be in the best interests of Newport County, because our best interests are at the moment simply to survive. And what he is doing is much less likely to have us survive than the grizzled, ugly way that no doubt Coughlin would have employed, but would have kept us in the league. So I think that he has put his own well-being before that of Newport County. That is not to say he wants to sabotage Newport County. On the contrary, he would like Newport County to be successful. But if it comes to him taking a risk to make Newport County successful, He's not going to do that, and we know that. Another reason I have to say, I saw unlike most of you, I watched the Manchester United game on the television, and I saw the halftime interview with Jenkins and Michael Flynn, and it was appalling. The criticisms coming of Coughlin's tactics in that game. We were 2-1 down to Manchester United at half-time. We are Newport County, for goodness sakes. That would certainly be another criticism that I would have of Jenkins. But what I will not criticise Jenkins for is misleading you. He's always been upfront about what his plan was and what he was going to try to do. So, as I believe that whatever happens in life, we have to take responsibility for our decisions. And it was our decision, because no matter what we may say or criticise the board, but we let them, the previous board, when they said it was Jenkins or nothing, we let them do it, and we shouldn't have done. And I think it is a little bit poor form, really, for us to now blame a man who, whatever else he may or may not have done, has never tried to mislead you. And that is something that can't be said about anybody involved with having charge of Newport County since about 2014, 10 years ago. Okay, well, I said I'd be short, and it's less than 12 minutes, and that's it. So it's late on a Saturday afternoon, and Newcastle have just beaten Nottingham Forest 2-0. So I don't know what the other games were. Nonetheless, enjoy the rest of the weekend if you're watching on Sunday. Have a good week in any event, and no doubt I will come out with another ramble at some later date when I have something to say. In the meantime, thank you. Bye-bye.